When I was 19, I got a DUI. I was an undergrad at ASU. I told myself I was never gonna do anything wrong after that ever again. I went to MVD, I said, I need to be able to drive still. They said, that's fine. Continue driving until your license suspension starts. Here's a new driver's license. Once down the road, my license suspension gets kicked in. I know I'm not able to drive. My friend gets pulled over after that while I'm in the back seat. Officer comes up to the driver, says, I need to see everyone's IDs. Comes back and says, Mr. Divelbiss, will you step out of the vehicle? You know you just handed a police officer false identification. I said, what are you talking about? That's my identification. It's 100% legitimate. I just got it a few weeks ago from MVD. The officer says, I'm sorry about that. I'm not the judge. You can go and tell this to the judge. He writes me a criminal citation. I show up in court and I think, all right, this is just a big misunderstanding. I'm going to be able to easily explain to the prosecutor. She says, hey, Zach, sorry, I don't want to hear your side of the story, but you need to have a hearing in front of the judge. And you can tell the judge anything that you want. So I say, all right, well, this is a big misunderstanding. I can represent myself with this. This should be easy. I go and start explaining the story. The prosecutor objects to me. Hearsay, judge. The judge says sustained. So I keep losing. The judge eventually comes to the conclusion of the trial, bangs his gavel and says, I find you guilty. I am flabbergasted. How did this all just happen? I protested the judge. I say, Judge, what did I do that was wrong? The judge says, apparently nobody explained this to you through any part of this process that you've gone through, but your identification here says driver's license on it. The moment your license suspension kicks in, technically this driver's license, it's invalid. There's nothing that's fake about it other than it's false identification. You're no longer allowed to use that anymore. I protest. I'm like, well, please, nobody explain this to me. Just go easy on me. Give me a break. Judge says, sorry, son, I've got to follow the law. This is your punishment. You now get a criminal conviction. Your license is going to get suspended another 3 months. At that point, I said, I'm going to law school. I'm going to learn every criminal law there is. I'm going to learn all these loopholes. I'm going to help people so that way they don't go into these situations, that they can handle this themselves. That way they go into this to actually get the best result possible. This whole process taught me at a young age that the officer could have said, hey, sorry, Zach, I see that, you probably are making a mistake here. You probably had no idea you were doing anything wrong, but they didn't care. They just saw that I had a DUI before they said he must be a criminal. They just slapped me with the next best thing that they could get me. And then the judge actually does have the power to find you not guilty, but it's so hard when you can't fully explain what's going on because you're not a lawyer, because you didn't go to law school. You didn't know the right words to say for them to actually find you not guilty of a crime that you didn't even know was illegal. All of those things really led me to starting Future First Criminal Law here. And I hope by watching this video, you understand that even if you had been making mistakes in the past, even if you've never been caught and you finally did, you absolutely have to hire a lawyer. You don't know what you are going to get screwed over with when you get through your case. We're going to come in and do damage control. From the very beginning, I should have hired a lawyer. I should have known better from my mistakes. But again, I was ignorant. I was young. I didn't think that this was going to be a big issue, and it really was.